Big Night doing, and kind of what's his status as far as being able to play?
Yeah, he's got the hyperextended elbow that we're that we're dealing with right now. He's on the trip. And he'll be game time decision with that. He's been limited though. Really limited.
Go ahead, Joe. Zone.
Okay. Yep. Dan, you've had a couple of days to enjoy that incredible win. How long do you actually let those guys enjoy that before you really have to move on and just take the next step?
I think that was a gratifying one. Joe, just because of obviously the character that the guy showed and doing it doing it away from home where your best player wasn't at his best. So it's probably gratifying. Through probably the morning the next day after breakfast, then you dial into the Butler prep, and you're always just dealing with stuff relative to the program. James's injury, just things are always happening that get your mind off of your last success quickly.
Thank you.
Neil, Austin.
Hey, Dan, I know you're a little more of a Rocky guy, but I'm sure you've seen Hoosiers plenty. Is it kind of cool to be there? Have you been to Hinkle before or played or coached there?
Yeah, we did. We played Butler here when Brad was here. The one year that Butler was in the Atlantic 10. So we had the pleasure of playing here, and it was an awesome experience. The history, the building, obviously the movie. I just did a Gene Hackman impersonation when I walked in. Amani's shooter, and I don't know who Tom is yet, or Kevin. It's cool though, it's obviously this will be a different type of experience too, because there'll be limited fans here. I guess 2,000 fans and cheerleaders with masks, so it'll be a cool experience.
Wayne, Norman.
Dan, how does Aaron Thompson make them a better team now that he's back?
Yeah, they're a much different team with him in there. The kid's a winner. He's tough as nails. He's a senior that knows how to win, and he's obviously their leader, and he's as good a defender as I've seen on the perimeter this year. He really gets after people and is disruptive and physical and makes plays on the ball. But, it changes their whole team. Just him and Enzi as a, preseason all-conference player. We expect, tomorrow to be much tougher than Tuesday and our toughest game of the year.
Amore?
Yeah, Dan, did James have any tests like an MRI or anything like that on the elbow? Are they calling anything, or is it just something that's? Is it a possibly long-term thing, or something that's just eventually gonna just kind of heal and calm down?
Yeah, it's kind of going through that right now, with the doctors, and that's probably. He's been, he's gotten x-rays, he's gotten MRI. As of right now, he'll just be game time decision.
Dave Borges.
Dan, I guess the obligatory a quick question. I don't think there was any viral videos this time around, but maybe a better chance playing tomorrow, especially given James's possible availability.
Yeah, I hope you're not suggesting that because James is a game time decision that would make us decide to play a Cook. They're two completely different situations. Whether somebody else may play or not play. I mean, we're gonna, based on practice and how a cook's looking and how he's feeling, and what the coaching staff sees and his ability to, to be able to function, in a game that we're desperate to win. When we feel like he's ready, he'll be out there. We're all on the same page. We talk to him daily. So yeah, like whether he plays or not has nothing to do with James. They don't even play the same position.
Charlotte?
Hey Dan, about Javante, when you kind of found out about that, or how long that's been perhaps building, or if those conversations have been ongoing for a little bit.
Yeah, I'll just no. It happened very suddenly, and I would say that we were not. That wasn't something that we thought was like pending. But I understand. I understand the culture of college basketball and what's to come with the new transfer rules that are going to be in place. So it's not something I've dealt with personally. I think I go back to 2015 or 16 when a guy that I've personally recruited on my staff made a decision to play for me has left me. Obviously, I've had transfers like Sid and Altric that were grad transfers or guys that I inherited, but it's a pretty rare thing that a player that I've recruited has left me. So, you feel like you didn't do a good enough job that somebody didn't want to stay with you and stick it out. But I also understand the culture of our sport too now.
Roger, Cleveland?
Hey, Dan, you started Adama in 3 games now, so obviously you're seeing good things in practice from him. Do you feel like he's getting closer and closer to a breakthrough?
Yeah, I sure hope so. With him, it's getting him the playing experience, and I think the payout with Adama Sanogo is going to be huge for the program. When he's able to get comfortable and really display all of his abilities, he's a potential program changing player. So, I think starting him has gotten him more comfortable. He had some good moments early offensively for us, and we were able to play him 15 minutes, and hopefully we're, 15 effective minutes against some pretty good front court players. And he'll get better as we go. And, I think there's going to be a lot of doubles ahead of that young man's career. And hopefully, we get some at some point this year. Plus, keeps that fire lit underneath Josh. Because obviously it just keeps everybody on their toes, everyone on edge, and it keeps people highly motivated.
Danny Barletta?
Coach, Butler's only 3-5 going into this game, but they have a couple of conference wins, and I think they've probably played better than that record. What are your thoughts on Butler going into this game?
Yeah, I mean they've with Thompson and Enzi, they got one of the better guards in the conference, a real vet and a great two-way player. Enzi is a heck of a tough matchup at the 4 because he's so skilled and obviously preseason all-conference player. They got some young guards that are really, really playing well. Golden, is a very good interior player. They've been, kind of beat up a little bit with injury, and COVID kind of screwed their season up a little bit too. So I think they're just kind of, I think Lavelle has them, starting to play really good basketball. But between COVID and some of the injury things to Thompson and others, it's they've had a lot of challenges to overcome.
Dave?
Dan, how's Richie kind of handled his sort of lack of playing time so far, especially after, last year for different reasons having to sit out, and do you feel like there's still something this year where he can make some contributions before this year is over?
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, we've got, Richie's a developmental guy, and when, when you bring in developmental guys and, a guy like Richie or these young guys we've brought into the program in the front court, Richie's very aware of our roster. These guys were all very aware of our roster before the season started, before they chose to enroll here. And it's, with the Cook health, with the Cook not healthy, it's hard to get on the court in our front court, especially when we have the option with Tyler back to full health, playing him at the 4 or Tyrese and going small. So listen, it's we've got a good front court, man, and it's hard to get on the court here. So Richie understands what it is. He's a developmental player, and he's got 3 or 4 guys every day. That are kicking his ass and making him better. Oops. Sorry, Phil. And, he's embracing it, and he's improving. And if he just focuses on, as long as he understands that he's a developmental guy and he's got to improve to get on the court in a program like ours, he'll eventually get on the program in a program like ours. But Richie now is, he's really the only guy healthy in practice that's not playing, that's not in the rotation. So, I think that now probably energizes him a little bit more to not be, that he's the only guy not playing in the rotation that's not hurt.
Kai Stevens?
Hey, Dan.
Hey, Kai.
With Villanova, I'm good. How are you? With the Villanova game canceled, obviously, I'm sure the guys were looking forward to that. They're such a good team. Is that something where you might consider adding a game in there if you can?
Yeah, to be honest with you, I've had conversations with Dave Benedict about that game potentially being in jeopardy from their end, and I barely even batted an eye at it, and I don't even think these guys are aware of it because of the Butler prep and how focused we are on that and how much we have on the line in tomorrow's game. So, that's not even something that. Thanks for putting that in my head, Kai. Now that's something else.
You're welcome.
I've had a hell of a couple days since that night in Milwaukee. So I appreciate you.
Obviously played at Nova against UConn back in the day. Coached, when UConn was in the Big East before they left, and then looking at your recruiting classes, how far away are you from being I'm looking at what you're doing defensively, looks just like an old UConn team that takes care of the paint, offensive rebounds, just bullies. How far are you away from being what they were, the 4 national championship dominant UConn program?
Yeah. We're not there, Chris. We're, I think we're getting closer. Obviously, the talent level has increased over the last couple of years. And that's without, I think, Chris, with a healthy Book Knight, and then Andre Jackson and a Cook or 2 guys that, that we need to get healthy and get on that court. And, because they're like a huge part of our year 3, year 4 plan of this thing kind of getting all the way back to looking like that UConn team. But I say we compete, we're competing closer to the way they used to here. We're trying to defend and be the aggressor. We're trying to get on the backboard the way Coach had those great teams on the glass. So, when I got here, Chris, we were pretty far away from those days, but I think that we're definitely closer. And the class we have coming in, is our best one to date. And then there'll obviously be an opportunity to add a little bit more to that as well.
And the last question for me is that obviously they shoot the three well. You guys guard the three well. Any specific thing you're going to do as far as more awareness to the shooters?
Yeah, I just think for us, Chris, it's about making our opponent uncomfortable. Really getting into people, not allowing that ball to go side to side. Just being aggressive in our ball screen defense, and just being disruptive, and just trying to screw up their rhythm, screw up their timing, just get them sped up to the point that when they get the open look, they're a little bit out of rhythm. And then also too, I think Enzi and Enzi's a huge key, for us in this one, and Thompson, obviously, those guys will have a lot of our attention in terms of, what we're doing at the defensive end, because they're the heartbeat. The freshman guards are great. Bolden, I've played against him when he was at GW, excellent shooter scorer, but those two guys are the heartbeat.
Wayne?
Dan, speaking of Marquette, obviously the fan base got a little buzz out of that, a lot of buzz. What about you personally? Who did you hear from after this game? Any good stories about people that gave you a little pat on the back for that great win?
My wife, Andrea, when I got home at 3:30, she gave me a high five. So, she even, I think she woke up, said, "Good job." I'm trying to think. Just like some former players, former Rhode Island guys, Wagner guys, Governor Lamont. That was cool. That was, these guys, and we all understand, what basketball means to the state. Again, during such a brutal time for a lot of people, if we could perform really well and give people something to look forward to a couple nights a week, we would love to be able to do that. That'd be really cool. Do our part like that.